Okay, that's it. Bike's all loaded up, ready to go. I'm just going to finish putting on my gear, and then we're going to head out on this big Alaska adventure. So here we are, all filled up with gas and ready to go. Right? I'm going to put my helmet back on, reset the mileage readings, and we're going to take off on our first leg towards Alaska. So I am right now out about 300 miles into my first day of heading up to Alaska. And this gentleman right here, this is Chris. And he tracked me down. He's one of my viewers and very nicely offered to buy me lunch. So Chris, I really appreciate that very much.
Pleasure spending time with you.
All right, so Chris just got back from a great trip down to the Shenandoah National Park and then out to the seashore there. So Chris, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's been great to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thanks for lunch.
One is done, and you know, overall it was a really nice day. I mean, it started off a little hectic, you know, trying to get out of the house and trying to do a little videoing before I walked out the door, and then also the hardest part was saying goodbye to my wife. Right? You know, we were both a bit emotional, of course. It's going to be, you know, a long time we're going to be apart. I think this is probably going to be the longest time we were apart since we were married, you know, 26 years ago nearly. You know, we were apart for a couple of weeks when I did, you know, a longer trip, but we also flew out, or she flew out to see me partway through the trip, so that wasn't such a long time. But this is going to be 5 weeks that we're apart, that we won't see each other. So it's a big deal. And, you know, it's tough. And I really, really appreciate her support in, you know, not giving me a hard time about this. I mean, there are so many wives and so many husbands as well that, you know, just would not be happy with this kind of a thing. They wouldn't be happy allowing their spouse to go out and achieve their dreams, you know, while they stayed at home. But, you know, we have the kind of relationship where we both encourage each other to do really what we want to do, to achieve our dreams in life. So I am very lucky in that respect, and I think she is as well, of course. But so thank you very much, Kathy. You are awesome, and I really appreciate all the little things that you, of course, have hidden throughout all of my gear. I've found most of them, I think, because naturally I unpack every night pretty much and repack, you know, to get clothing out and things like that. So I found a lot of them already, but I'm opening them up one at a time so as to let it be spread out across the whole trip. So anyway, thank you very much. I love you. Alright, so here we go, day 2. I'm headed to Davenport, Iowa today from Erie, Pennsylvania.
right, so here I am. I made it to Oglesby, Iowa, which is right outside of Davenport. And it was 581 miles today. However, when I got here to Iowa, I did have a nice surprise that I picked up 1 extra hour. So instead of being 7 o'clock my time when we got in, it was only 6. Gives me an extra hour to sleep tonight. It's probably what I'll be using it for. So I went across the street and I had a little dinner, the Kentucky Fried Chicken right across the street. And again, I haven't had that since I was a kid. Well, it's been several years anyway. I've had it since then, obviously. But it's been several years since I had it. So I said, man, that sounds good tonight. Went over there, had a dinner. And it's amazing to me that it all tastes exactly the same as it did when I was 12 years old. Just absolutely amazing that they've been able to do that. All right, so here we go. It's day 3 now. Today I'm going to be heading from Oglesby, Illinois. Got that right this time. All the way to Kearney, Nebraska. So I'm going to sit down, have a cup of coffee, have a little breakfast, and then we'll pack up the bike and get on the road. Looks like we have a little rain up ahead, so I've stopped to change out my gloves, kind of put everything back on and get back on the road. First station I stopped at with E15, but they have the pumps separated, so that's a good thing. All right, so here I am in Kearney, Nebraska, 570 miles today. And this was the best day so far. Yesterday was a little rough with all the construction going through Indiana, but today was awesome. Great, smooth roads, very little traffic, only going through Omaha a little bit, but it never really backed up, just a little bit of heavy congestion. Kept moving the whole way. But other than that, got some showers in the morning and a little sprinkle in the afternoon, but other than that, it was an absolutely beautiful day. Great day to be on the bike. So I'm up on day 4, going to be heading into Wyoming today. Haven't cleaned the windshield for 3 days, so I thought it was time to get the bugs off. Peter, I hope you're happy. So hey gang, so as you can see from the landscape behind me, the terrain has changed quite a bit since I left Nebraska. I am now in Rock Springs, Wyoming, and over the last 50 miles we've started to get more stuff like this, rock formations and all kinds of things like this that are up in Wyoming. Wyoming, if you haven't been here, is just an amazing state. I've always really enjoyed riding through Wyoming. Just all kinds of different of geography in here and geology.
between mountains, and you have desert areas, and these rock formations, just all kinds of great stuff. It is day 5 on my trek from Boston, Massachusetts over to Boise, Idaho, where I'm going to meet Peter and Steven tomorrow, and we'll get all hooked up, get ready, and head up to Alaska on Friday. So today is going to be a little bit shorter day, under 500 miles. I'm actually going to be getting off the interstate for this first part of the morning, taking a secondary road up to Pocatello, and then unfortunately I will have to get back on the interstate to head over to Boise. But no problem, it's all great scenery, love it all. So we'll see you out there on the road.